What is going on, guys? Today I'll be talking about two different apps that I actually just started using to try and help kind of better my personal finance and especially help me specifically with budgeting. So some of my 2019 resolutions, if you want to call them that, but I guess you could more say some goals I have for 2019 is just to overall save more money and try to budget a little bit better. So I was actually doing really well at this in probably 2017, but then 2018 I got a little lazy, so I definitely want to be better at that during 2019. So anyways, the two apps that I'm using today, and I'm not getting paid by these companies or anything like that, these are two that I found that I like for different reasons. So the two that I'll be using today are called Clarity Money and Daily Budget. Both of these are a little bit different, and I think I might end up going with using probably Clarity Money a little bit more over Daily Budget. But I do like both of them. I think they both serve different purposes. With Clarity Money, this one is kind of more, it directly takes your bank account and hooks it up and kind of just shows how you're using it, and it also has some tools that can help you along the way. So in terms of setup, like looks and ease of use, I think it is actually super easy to use. It only took me probably like 20 minutes to set the entire thing up, and it hooked up right up to my bank account as well as my credit card really easily. And the home screen, it's kind of, I guess, pretty sleek looking. It kind of reminds me a lot of the Robinhood app actually, and overall it shows like how much money you've been spending, how much money you have in your bank account, and how much you have and currently that's due on your credit card, which I think is helpful as well. And it also tries to help you save, and by like kind of setting you up with a program, but I'm probably not going to do that program. And one thing that it also can help you with is kind of figuring out how much of your income you're actually getting and then how much you're spending on things, whether it be like groceries or monthly bills or your car payment, kind of all the above that kind of stuff. And one big thing that I think it shows you as well is what did I spend on this month. So you can actually like kind of categorize that and switch like through places you've been spending money on this month and see how much money you've been spending on certain places versus other places, and you could switch it from like a month to a week to this past year. And I think that tool right there is actually super helpful to see what you've been spending on for this past time period. So if I go to Tim Hortons last year, that number is going to be probably kind of high. And according to this, and this is hooked up to my bank account that I use for like my checking, like my debit card. It doesn't have my savings in or anything like that. It says that I spent $323 in 2018 on Tim Hortons. So that is a pretty decent chunk of money, in my opinion anyways, that I was spending on Tim Hortons. I was actually kind of expecting it to be a lot higher than that. So I think that tool alone could have you download this app and give you a reason to download it. At least it did for me, and I think that's actually like a super helpful tool, because if you have that in front of you, like you can directly see what you've been spending money on. I think that's a really big game changer in terms of budgeting and saving money and trying to figure out what you're spending the most money on. And that tool I think is actually super helpful. But other than that, overall, like I was saying before, it's a really easy to use app. Overall, the features on it I really like a lot. It also can hook up directly with Acorns if you're using that, so I like that a lot actually. And it also can give you your credit score, like do a whole lot of other things. Like it pretty much does everything you would want it to do in terms of budgeting and finance, at least that I've seen. And it also shows your reoccurring expenses for each month. These are all just on the homepage, by the way, so I think it pretty much has most of the features I'd be looking in a budgeting app or just in my own personal budgeting planner. And a lot of these things I was doing myself, like on a spreadsheet or a Word document or whatever, and just typing everything manually. But I think having something that hooks up directly to your bank account is a lot of help, and this is by far one of the best ones I've seen out there so far. And besides that, there really isn't a whole lot more to it. The only thing that I think helps as well is it actually shows my transaction history a little bit better than my checkings account does, as well as my credit card. And I think that's kind of helpful as well, because with my actual credit card, like I have KeyBank, I just use the KeyBank app to see all my transactions. It doesn't actually show it very clearly, and this one shows it a lot more clear, the exact days that these purchases are happening or these deposits are happening, whatever it might be. And I think that's kind of helpful as well. And it's kind of just overall sleek looking, really good app overall. So this is definitely one that I'll be using a lot and one that I think will help me the most. But the other app I'll be looking at today is called Daily Budget. And this one's a little bit different than that. It does kind of the same things that the other app does, but I think this one is a lot better for if you want to sort of input that stuff yourself, and if you don't necessarily want to hook up your bank account to it, because it basically allows you to, if you know, let's say already know your monthly income, it allows you to like put that in. Like let's say you're making, I don't know, $1,000 a month. It allows you put in that $1,000, and then you could kind of figure out, what am I spending money on yourself. It doesn't necessarily do as much as the work for you, but very similar to the other app I was talking about, Clarity Money. Daily Budget actually is a really sleek and really quick using app. It definitely allows you to do a lot of the same stuff the other one does. One big difference I think in this is one of the categories on it is extra incomes, which I think is actually kind of cool, because like I do YouTube, I would consider that an extra income. I probably wouldn't put that down as like my main income, and it doesn't actually go directly into my checkings accounts. That'd be a little different as well. And then big expensive. So what this does is it allows you to try to save up money for like a vacation, or maybe you want to buy a car or something like that, you know, whatever it might be. And I think that is pretty cool way to kind of help with that, because if you're trying to save money for the long term, whether it be a vacation or maybe you want to start up a Robinhood account and you want to save $1,000 to put in it or something like that, I think that's kind of important. But I would say I would go with Clarity Money rather than Daily Budget in terms of just overall personal finance, because that kind of does all the above. The one feature I really did like a lot was that big expenses one on the other app, Daily Budget, but overall those two are pretty good. And in terms of other competition on the market, another two that I was checking out as well was Intuit Mint. So I use TurboTax, which is done by the same company as this one, and Intuit was kind of cool, but it wasn't, it is as sleek looking, I would say, but it was kind of almost more confusing, and it kind of had I don't know, it seemed like they were like trying to make money off of it or something like that. There was kind of like a lot of ads that popped up with credit cards and loans and things of that nature, and I don't think it's necessarily a smart idea if you're trying to personal budget and do a lot of personal finance fixing to like have you being offered credit cards and loans on the same app. So that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense in my personal opinion, but overall that app actually seemed pretty decent. It seemed a little bit more, I guess I could say, professional than these other ones. These other ones looked like they were like clearly done by smaller companies, but overall Intuit didn't necessarily make this video, and the other one I was looking at was Good Budget, and this app was definitely close to getting in it. This one looked like it was kind of more if you're, I don't know, let's say like a family, like you're trying to figure out your household finance, or if you I don't know, live with your partner or whatever it might be. That app looked more good for that. So with Good Budget, it kind of did it for if you have a consistent like weekly or bi-weekly income that's pretty much the same amount every single time, like you understand your income, you know what it is. Not necessarily for someone like me who changes all the time. And I think it's also for more people that kind of have the same schedule. You know, you probably buy like close to the same amount of groceries every week. You probably buy, you know, the same amount of gas or like car payments, whatever that may be. I think this was more for people who have a set budget, but they want to start like saving up more money or doing more things like that. But anyways, guys, is really it for this video for the two apps that I recommend and like a lot, Clarity Money and Daily Budget. Definitely going to be starting using those more, and I'll leave the links to those in the description as well. And overall, I really like those two apps, but I'll definitely be using Clarity Money probably more over Daily Budget. But anyways, guys, that's really it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, definitely leave a like and comment below. Maybe if you use these both of these apps, maybe perhaps you use a different one that you like. I know there's a ton out there. These were just some that I saw out of probably like 20 that I tried and downloaded, and I liked those two the best. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video and you haven't checked out my channel before, I talk about the stock market, investing, personal finance, things like that. So if you're interested in any of that kind of stuff, definitely head over to my channel. And if you like what you're seeing, consider subscribing. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching.